Hello and welcome to news broadcast on TayNinhTV with some latest event in the province as well as in nationwide. And now we come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, on the afternoon of May 22nd, Deputy Minister of Justice Nguyễn Thành Ngọc, Vice Chairman of the Central Council for Coordinating Legal Determinations and Education, chairs the working sessions in the province on the implementation of the work of communicating draft policies, disseminating legal education, providing legal aid for grassroots mediations, legal access standard, and legal support for small and medium enterprises.
Welcoming and working with the delegation, there was Mr. Đoàn Trung Kiên, Vice Chairman of the TayNinhTV Provincial People's Committee and Chairman of the Provincial People's Council for Coordinating Legal Dissemination and Education. In 2024, the Provincial People's Committee issued and directed the Provincial Council for Coordinating Legal Dissemination and Education to issue 23 decision plans and directive documents on the work of disseminating legal education, grassroots mediation, and legal access standards, legal aid, and legal support for enterprises. The whole province organized more than 10,000 legal dissemination sections for officials, civil servants, soldiers, teachers, union members, students, workers in enterprises, and the people to attend. And last year, the province has 92 over 94 communes, boroughs, and towns meeting the legal access standards. Concluding the working section emphasizing the core goal of policy communication is to help the society and the people understand, support, and comply with the law. Deputy Minister of Justice Nguyễn Thành Ngọc requested the province to promptly and fully grasp the leadership and direction of the central and local governments, synchronously deploy the solutions to improve the quality and effectiveness of legal education and dissemination, grassroots mediation, legal access standards, legal aid, and legal support for enterprises to ensure that they are increasingly substantive, focused and key to meet the legal information needs of organizations, individuals, and enterprises. And during the implementation process, it is necessary to assign specific responsibilities to its organization, departments, and individuals according to the motto clear people, clear work, clear responsibilities, clear progress, and clear effectiveness, so that the implementation can be timely and achieve the results.
On May 22nd, the Steering Committee for the 2025 High School Graduation Exam in the province had its first meeting. Vice Chairman of the Provincial People Committee, Đoàn Trung Kiên, heads of the Steering Committee, chairs the meeting.
At the meeting, Mr. Phan Minh Tùng, Deputy Director of the Department of Education and Training, Deputy Head of the Steering Committee, presented a report on preparations for the 2025 High School Graduation Exam. The conference unanimously approved the draft assessment of tests to members of the Steering Committee, the draft work schedule, as well as the plan to inspect and survey facilities at the exam locations. The members of the committee also reported on the progress of preparing facilities and necessary conditions in the locality and clearly stated the advantages and difficulties in the implementation process. Speaking at the conference, Vice Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, Đoàn Trung Kiên, head of the Steering Committee, emphasized this year's exam is different when candidates take the exam according to two problems. Therefore, the preparation status need to be carried out very carefully, absolutely not allowing any mistakes. Regarding facilities, it is recommended that the electricity, health, traffic, police sectors, together with the People's Committees of district, towns, and cities, thoroughly repair and proactively have response plans for arising situations.
And on May 22nd, the Steering Committee for Crime Prevention, Social Evils, and Building the Movement of the Whole People to Protect the Security of the Fair Land connected with an vocational college to organize the Festival of the Whole People to Protect the Security of the Fair Land in 2025. The Vocational College is one of the two units selected by the Steering Committee as the point to organize the Festival of the Whole People to protect the security of the fair land in 2025. In the propaganda work, the school directed the professional department to coordinate with professional unions and the provincial police to organize propaganda in many forms, such as thematic talks, golden bell contests and quizzes, etc., with the participation of more than 12,000 students and teachers, and the motto of student style managing security and order has been effective, contributing to the prevention of the school violence. On this occasion, the Standing Committee for Crime Prevention, Social Evils and Building a Movement for the Whole People to Protect the National Security awarded a certificate of merit from the Chairman of Provincial People's Committee and a certificate of merit from the Director of Provincial Police Student Vocational College for his outstanding achievements in building a movement for the whole people to protect national security in 2025.
On May 22nd, the interdisciplinary inspection team of the Department of Industry and Trade of TayNinhTV Province continued to inspect the compliance with food safety regulations at a number of business establishments in Gò Dầu district. During this inspection, the team worked at two establishments, Bảo Hưng Store and Ngọc Mỹ Milk Agent located on Road 7H4, Hamlet 2, both in Bảo Đông, Camille. Road actual inspection, the establishments basically comply with legal regulations on food business conditions and no products were detected on the list of fake milk that had been warned by the authorities. The inspection team also compared invoice and documents proving the origin of the goods, check the condition of packaging, labels, anti-counterfeit stamp, barcodes, and expiry dates. The physical factors of the products such as color, taste, size of precipitation, or packaging deformation were also carefully inspected. The selling prices of products are also compared with the market price level to detect counterfeit and poor quality goods. Concluding the inspection, the delegation acknowledged the good compliance with the establishments in food business activities. However, the delegation also requested that owners of the establishments continue to improve their sense of responsibility and strictly implement food safety regulations, thereby contributing to protecting public health and consumer rights.
Ladies and gentlemen, International Day for Biological Diversity, May 22nd, is an occasion to remind people of the vital roles of nature in sustainable human development. Preserving biodiversity today is contributing to a sustainable future in harmony with nature.
At Logos Samak National Park of Tân Biên District in Province, where the unique biological values of the transitional area between the three ecological regions are preserved, practical activities are being implemented to protect this precious ecosystem. In particular, spreading community awareness, especially among the younger generation, is one of the most effective and sustainable conservation methods. Logos Samak National Park currently manages nearly 30,000 hectares of forest, a special area with transitional ecosystem between the Central Highlands, the Southeast, and the Mekong Delta. And it is home to 580 animal species, including many rare species such as the Javan rapier, the black-snake dog lanker, purple feather fowl, and migratory birds such as red-throat cranes, egrets, and white-necked cranes also. Regarding flora, the park records more than 930 the tree species, including precious woods such as rosewood, and camellia. This rich ecosystem is the reason why this place has become a real treasure in the work of preserving national biodiversity. The National Park Management Board has also implemented many activities to conserve the biodiversity. Specifically, we organize the forest protection patrols to prevent the forest fires, prevent forest product theft, as well as capture wild animals, and then receive and rescue native animals and release them back into the natural environment. Organize monitoring and investigation of the special species of flora and fauna, especially super rare species, and another regular activity is to organize propaganda and education on biodiversity and environmental protection. Spreading awareness of the forest and environmental protection is a long-term approach in conservation. This year, the National Park Management Board organized the 2025 Biodiversity and Environmental Protection Propaganda Contest, attracting more than 200 secondary school students to participate, and with the materials from the National Park Introduction Book and the Biology Program. For grade 6 and 7, the students demonstrated their creativity, understanding, and sense of responsibility through each competition. The atmosphere of the competition was exciting. In particular, the skit competition was elaborately invested, vividly depicting environmental issues such as deforestation, plastic waste, and the risk of extinction of wild animals. And through that, the messages about the nature protection were clearly conveyed, arousing the love of nature in the student. I feel very happy and joyful, mixed with a little pride when participating in Lagos National Park and on the land of the land where I was born. I feel even happier. I definitely realize that I have to protect the environment, protect the rare species of animals and plants, and provocate the relatives and friends to preserve biodiversity to develop the forest more. We should not burn forests and cut down trees. We must love animals. We must love the forest and not litter indiscriminately to keep the environment clean and thereby contributing to protecting biodiversity. International Day for Biological Diversity, the 22nd of May, is an opportunity for each of us to look back at the close relationship between humans and nature, and thereby enhancing our responsibility in protecting the values of the ecosystem. TayNinhTV is fortunate to have Lagos National Park, a precious rangeland, a place that preserves a rich treasure trove of flora and fauna and is an ideal space to educate the younger generation about the love of nature. Preserving biodiversity today is contributing to creating a sustainable future in harmony with nature.
On the morning of May 22nd, TayNinh Provincial Social Insurance organized a training conference for staff organizing volunteer social insurance and health insurance collection service in 2025.
At the training session, staff organizing insurance collection services were updated with the latest regulations and instructions related to the implementation of voluntary social insurance and health insurance policies, including regulations on collection, payment of participation fees, contribution levels, payment methods, rights and responsibilities when participating. The conference also focused on guiding the process of collecting voluntary social insurance and self-paid health insurance, making a list of participants according to each type of insurance, looking up and searching for personal information of household members participating in social insurance and health insurance according to regulations. In addition, skills in propaganda and mobilization of people are also focused on equipping service collection staff in order to increase initiative and effectiveness in propaganda work on social insurance and health insurance policies at the grassroots level.
The Minister of Industry and Trade Nguyễn Hồng Diên has changed to Decision number 1261 on announcing the new administrative procedures in the fields of import and export under the management scope of the Ministry of Industry and Trade. The list of newly issued administrative procedures includes issuance of certificates of origin of goods from the GSTP firms of BR9. The list of revised and supplemented administrative procedures includes issuance of certificates of origin of preferential goods from A, non-preferential from B, from TA59 for the goods exported to Africa, from for exported coffee. Along with that is the issuance of certificates of origin of goods from Peru, Turkey, Venezuela, issuance of certificates of origin of goods issued later, reissuance of certificates of origin of goods, issuance of certificates of origin of unchanged origin.
Ladies and gentlemen, summer is back. Thousands of union members and young people across TayNinh province are ready to put on the ring volunteers, ringing wisdom, youthful enthusiasm by honoring spirits and responsibility to the community.
Everyone is ready to enter a meaningful summer associated with the practical projects and tasks for the community. The 2025 Summer Youth Volunteer Campaign was officially launched from May and lasted until the end of August, and which is July was identified as the peak of actions. The campaign includes one program and four major campaigns, and the supporting exam season program, the Green Summer campaigns, Red Flamboyant Flowers, Pink Vacation, and Green March campaigns. The campaign also responds to the major movements and been widely launched in the society, such as join hands to eliminate temporary houses and dilapidated houses and join hands to build new rural areas and civilized urban areas. One of the meaningful activities we carry out is to build the works, lighten up the border and border patrol roads in the border areas of Bun Chau District and Tân Châu District. The launching day had the participation of many union members and young people from the youth union bases in the whole province and not afraid of difficulties, ready to contribute to the community. I and the union members of Thanh Tân Commune proactively arranged the time and build a reasonable plan to coordinate with the border and sister and the members of the commune union to participate in the movement to eliminate temporary and dilapidated houses in Thanh Tân Commune. In addition, we also actively participate in propagating and disseminating the 2013 Constitution to the local people and at the same time together responding to many other meaningful movements to contribute to improving the lives and health of the people. On the very first day of the campaign, many practical activities were simultaneously deployed. Specifically, the campaign organized a festival Young Doctor following alcohol staging, volunteering for community health, provided a free medical examination and medicine to the young workers and people in difficult circumstances, started construction of a charity house, and launched the planting of 3,000 trees in response to the National Green Sunday. The activities on the launching day of the province and the youth union bases are estimated to reach more than 1,800,000,000 Vietnam dong. With a passionate heart, the Green Volunteer Shirt will continue to spread the good values, contributing to creating a summer full of love. And according to the Department of Economics, Construction Investment Management and the Ministry of Construction, to date, the North-South Expressway project in the east phase of 2001 to 2005 has put into operation a total length of about 209 kilometers, belonging to 4 component projects: Bãi Vọt Hàm Nghi Vũng Áng, Bùng Vạn Ninh, and 70 kilometers of Vân Phong Nha Trang section. Along with the projects planned to open to traffic on September 2nd, there is Hoa Nhơn, Quy Nhơn, more than 70 kilometers long, passing through Bình Định province with a total investment of more than 12,400 billion Vietnam dong, and Quy Nhơn Chí Thạnh, nearly 62 kilometers long, passing through the Bình Định and Phú Yên with a total investment of more than 14,800 billion Vietnam dong. The expansion of the Hoa Liên Tuy Loan Expressway with a length of 11.5 kilometers in Da Nang City with a total investment of more than 2,100 billion Vietnam dong will completed the remaining of 13 kilometers of the Vân Phong Nha Trang section in June and open the main roads of the 2 component projects of Vũng Áng Bùng and Vạn Ninh Cam Lộ.
According to statistics from the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam in May 2025, the number of passengers passing through airports nationwide increased by double digits, reaching more than 10 million compared to the previous month, an increase of more than 17% over the same period last year. Specifically, international passengers reached nearly 4 million, an increase of more than 19%. Domestic passengers reached more than 6 million, an increase of more than 16%. In the first 5 months of this year, the total number of passengers passing through airports reached more than 49 million, an increase of more than 10% over the same period last year, of which the number of international passengers increased by more than 13%, but the number of domestic passengers decreased by more than 8%. It is forecasted that during the peak summer season this year, travel demand will continue to increase, so the aviation industry has prepared plans to best serve passengers.
The Orion Work Tea-Day on May 21st is not only an occasion for us to honor the culture through historical, economic, and artistic perspective, but also an opportunity to listen to stories from the people who are preserving the souls of East Vietnamese people.
Now let's go to Thái Nguyên, where the tea trees are not only agricultural products but also cultural quintessence to meet those who are preserving and spreading the cultural soul of the Midland region to the international market. Born and raised in the Thái Nguyên tea region, Miss Si Vân, owner of Hương Vân Tea Cooperative, has been involved in the profession of nearly 20 years. From the secret of making tea passed down from her ancestors, she has brought the tea products to have their own brand and become popular with many people. There are countless quintessences bestowed by the heaven and earth from the house, the sweat and efforts of farmers. In addition, there is a story about the products in it and the vastly hills, great playground experiences that are attractive enough for the community and the world also. And surely more people will come to Vietnam. Thái Nguyên province is known as the tea capital of the country, with the largest area of over 22,700 hectares, output for more than 244,000 tons per year. The whole province has more than 60 companies, enterprises producing, processing, trading tea, nearly 170 cooperatives, 251 of the product villages. The tea industry is granting a stable job for many local workers. Tea is the national key crop and also a key crop of Thái Nguyên province for sustainable development and value enhancement. Thái Nguyên province has issued resolution number 11 on the tea industry development for the period of 2025 to 2030, and the main goal of the resolution is to increase the value of tea plants to 25 trillion Vietnam dong by 2030, with an emphasis on the food safety. And with the support of the government, the tea industry is increasingly professionalizing. Many cooperatives have transformed digitally, applying technology to production, and currently many enterprises not only conquer the domestic market, but also reach out to many countries around the world. Currently, we export to more than 10 countries, mainly Middle Eastern countries, and some demanding countries such as the US, Japan, and France. Vietnam's strength is green tea, and so we are also exploiting the competitive markets of these countries also. Thái Nguyên tea in particular and Vietnamese tea in general are present in more than 74 countries and territories, and with an export turnover of hundreds of millions of USD per year. The tea not only contributes to preserving culture, but it is also a strategic product in the journey to affirm the brand of Vietnamese agricultural products on the world map.
That's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for being with us, and goodbye for now.